right. Hope everybody is doing well. This is and one of the items coming out of the budget earlier today. So I thought it'd be interesting to talk about because I've been thinking about it, right? And I shared my initial thoughts in some of the groups that I'm in, and we were talking about it earlier on taking stock, and I thought I would just do a quick video about it because maybe I thought I'd do some research on it and talk about what I think it would mean a little bit for maybe the space. So yeah, let's talk about it for a little bit. So I'll share the announcement first, and then we see what comes from that, right? We'll do our usual discussion here. So let's start here. So one of the items coming out today was an announcement of a micro market to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Now, my initial response, I must tell you, was not necessarily one of being a fan of this, and I'll tell you why. So my initial response, and I might have been wrong for this. My initial response was that I was thinking that investors don't fully right now appreciate the startup nature of junior market companies, right? So I was thinking of only, I guess, the negatives in a sense. Just thinking it may just be more pressure for these companies who have to, produce results. Because right now, for example, some junior market companies even struggle to make a profit. What can we really expect from micro companies? If a company is making, let's say, 2 million profits for the year or 5 million profits for the year, can we really expect like dividends from these companies? Can we, expect them to uphold like consistent communications, do their quarterly reports on time, pay for things like AGMs, etc. So those are the things that I thought about at first. I was like, I don't know if this makes sense. But I said I'll try to have an open mind, go through it, and maybe try and think about some things that maybe can be seen as positives. So I'll go through the research because I've done just some search and I found some articles that they've been talking about this for a while, probably for about 6 or 7 years now. So this is not new. So this was the article on Nationwide. So Finance Minister Favour Williams has announced the creation of a micro market for the Jamaica Stock Exchange. She said she will move with haste to name the technical working committee to formulate the new offering. She says the micro market will be established to meet the needs of MSMEs, requiring between $10 and $50 million in participating equity capital. Now, when I saw this, I was like, if we have offers being oversubscribed at like 300 million, 400 million, how much shares would you get if you subscribe to an offer for 50 million, right? Because that 50 million, for example, would be 20%. The company would be maybe valued at 250 million. And so even one institution maybe could completely subscribe that offer. So I started to think about things like that, and it just didn't make sense to me, but maybe there's more to it. Let me know what you think, by the way, because maybe I'm not seeing this the right way, but that was one of the things I think about as well, because investors now have an issue with small allocations. I would imagine if there's a micro exchange, or maybe what they will do is limit the applications. Maybe they'll say you can't apply for more than 10,000 shares or something like that. So because we're seeing, for example, companies get billions of dollars of capital trying to be raised. So imagine if a company is really popular, try to raise 50 million, gets 500 million. What does that allocation look like? Those are the things I thought about. But again, I'm going to try and find the positives here. So help me out. So she made a comment during her budget presentation earlier today. So I did a search for Jamaica Stock Exchange micro market and found articles going as far back as 2019. And this was just the first 2 pages, right? So let me find that one here. So it says JSE presses ahead for micro stock market. This is April 23rd, 2019, right? So it says here, referencing the success of the junior market for the past decade, Managing Director of the JSE, Marlene Street Forest, says the JSE will be pressing for the establishment of a micro market. So it's been 6 years, right? So she was addressing at the Caribbean MSME conference in 2019. And let me just scroll down here. So she stated that the companies listed on the junior market have capital to expand their network across country, retire debt, purchase warehousing, etc., investing bulk inventory, and to conduct backward and forward integration. As we contemplate the success of the junior market, JSE believes that this success can be replicated with a third tier, the micro market. She insisted, we're going to persist because we feel like this is important to the MSME sector. I'm also thinking about, for example, as I'm reading this, what would these companies pay as fees as well, right? Because there's a fee now to list on the JSE. There's a broker fee, right? So for example, when a company raises like 500 million, the broker at times will get 25 million fee to bring that company to market. If a company is raising 50, how much will they get, right? How much will actually land in their hands? What fees will they be paying every year to the JSE? What will the fees and costs associated with their AGMs, etc.? And how much can that capital really help them to grow, right? Those are some of the questions that I have here. So she concluded that small and medium enterprises need to dream big and contemplate how they can raise capital through the stock exchange. However, she pointed to the challenges which business must overcome to support their listing on the stock exchange, including maintaining better records and preparing a thorough business plan to support their listing. Now, this, again, is what I said before. We see like larger companies struggle with this, right? So, and then Chairman of Usinco, William Mafood, said, shared his thoughts as well, said this will bring much needed capital to many of these small businesses, and so on and so forth, right? There was another article that was mentioned earlier this year. So Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill, says he wants to see the micro, small and medium enterprises listed on the junior market. Let me see if I can just share anything new here. So I want the private sector in Jamaica to realize that there are tremendous opportunities, as Jamaica is not the same country it was 10 years ago. Lots of people are making money the right way. We believe that this will positively impact the MSME sector as it will broaden the scope for more MSMEs to benefit from the incentives. Now, this part made sense to me. So for example, junior market companies have the benefit of the tax break for the first 5 years. Now, if small businesses get a tax break, that will help them grow. I'm all for that. So maybe what I'm thinking here is that this micro market can maybe start out privately, meaning I would, if they have the framework where there is not too much pressure on these companies, because I'm more concerned about the companies here than the investors, honestly, because I know if it's like some 10-cent offers or 50-cent offers, these are gonna become candidates for flipping, right? I don't think anybody's gonna be thinking, hey, I'm gonna buy this company for long term, right? So that can severely impact the company's price. That can so imagine a company comes to market and lists for 50 cents and then start to trade at $2, which is more than Wigton is trading for right now. That is blowing my mind, right? So that I can't reconcile that, right? I think, yeah, that's it. And I think there's one more article that I saw here. This, I don't see the date. This seems like 2018 and Jamaica to launch micro stock exchange. So this was from 2018, right? Again, I'm just doing scroll, just do a fast read here. So it says micro markets exist in developed countries, including the USA, where they are referred to as microcap stocks, which trade on what is referred to as over-the-counter market, as opposed to, say, the NYSE or NASDAQ. Okay, this makes sense, right? So if this is what we're talking about, then fine. If it's trading on like a different market altogether, handled privately, treated separately, not privately, but separately, that makes sense to me. So in the Jamaican context, it would be for small enterprises seeking to raise, or with a cap of 5 to 50 million. Typically, microstocks would have limited assets and operations, maybe lower price, and trade in lower volumes relative to senior market stocks. However, the most far-reaching difference to senior markets is that the companies on a micro market are likely to have less public information available, right? The preconditions for a successful micro market: businesses must develop a prospectus. We know what that is. Entrepreneurs will also need to know that such document has to, well, we know that already. Okay, so this is talking about minimum standards here. So micro entities, like other market aspirants, would need to meet minimum requirements, share issue, and reporting standards, which would be set by the JSE. In preparation for such an exchange and their listings, they would have to have clear understanding of the core business and knowing and understanding the market for their goods and services, good but not expansive internal organization, so that functions such as purchases, sales, inventory, so on and so forth, cross-training and succession planning, an accounting function, a sound reporting framework, mentoring system, and so on and so forth, right? So I think this article makes, well, this is certainly more comprehensive than the others. So I'll save this one, right? This is 2018. So I'll read through this some more, right? So let me see some of your comments here. Orville said it's a little bingo game. So the price can be less, like 30 to 50 cents, penny stocks. So my concern here, Kenton, is that investors may not know how to properly tell the difference, right? That's also my concern. If they can't tell the difference, they may, because right now, investors don't really know the difference of how to treat a junior versus main market company, right? I'll just say that. Similar to US penny stocks, 10 cents to 50 cents. The market cap is what matters, not the trading price. And Worrell says, I think it would be great to increase those small startup companies' presence in the market. However, they will have challenges. It's going to be risky and profitable on the flip side if all goes well. And Shell said, exactly, the stock is worth whatever the buyer is willing to pay. We would not see dividend. You cannot expect a dividend from a micro market company. That wouldn't be realistic. And I think companies like that will grow fast compared to junior markets. So that's what I'm saying. Imagine you list a company on the micro market and then you see trading at $2 when Wigton is trading at 120. Like, that would be very weird to see, right? And how long would they stay on the micro market before they have to move to the junior market? Great question, right? And I wonder if they would get the same tax break, same 100%. Maybe they get a 50% tax break or a 25%. I don't know. But interesting to see. The trading system would need to facilitate more decimal places. Yeah. I wonder if we'll start to trade fractional shares. That would be interesting. Imagine seeing an order in the queue for 1 share for a 10-cent stock. Like, that would be hilarious, right? And Shell says we have penny stocks now on the junior market. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So before I go into my further comments here, I'll share a little bit about our upcoming conference. You might have seen us on Taking Stock earlier. Well, you would have seen our CEO. So our Grow Wealth Conference is coming up in a month. It's a month away. It's at the Corley Auditorium. As an LGI community member, if you're a part of our new community group, you'd have gotten an email today with an offer for a special discount on tickets. So you can check that out in your email and you can go ahead and purchase your tickets. We're going to have a great lineup. The first thing I want to talk about, though, is our pitch competition. I think that'll be pretty awesome. We have close to 30 pitches already, and I suspect we may have probably close to 50 or more before this closes off. But this is our winner for the last pitch competition that we did. So we awarded $300,000 to Damani Thomas, and he's sharing his feedback here that he would highly encourage persons to take the leap and try and pitch. And I think his was, I don't remember the details of his company right now, but I know he did an excellent pitch, and we had some great pitches as well. And so you can fill out this form and send us your details. Once we go through the shortlisting of the pitches, then we'll of course contact those who are shortlisted, have them prepare their pitches, and you can win prize, get mentorship, etc., etc. So it's gonna be awesome. I wish I could pitch, right? And of course, just some of our speakers here, just feel free to check out the site here. So we have a great lineup. I'll be a part of the lineup as well, talking about how to use your business as an investment vehicle. So it's not just for entrepreneurs, it's also for investors. And as I like to tell our community members, you become a better investor when you understand the business, right? So it can also be helpful if you don't necessarily have a business, but you want to understand that space more, right? So you'll be able to have great networking. Our speaker lineup is pretty awesome. Some of them you may not know, but trust me, we would not have them on our conference if they weren't, excellent speakers. So you can learn about our speakers here on the website. Of course, our CEO is going to be our host. And so go ahead and buy your tickets, and I hope to see you there. All right, so let me talk about my thoughts, just some more thoughts on the micro market. So I really would want to see this executed well, and I am not sure what it will look like as yet. Now, I do see, as you saw as well, they've been talking about it for years. So as far back as 2018, so that's 7 years ago, right? So it seems to be pushed for now, but we don't know how soon it will actually come to pass. If the infrastructure, if the infrastructure is there and they're able to actually thrive as businesses and investors get an opportunity for true wealth creation, then I'm willing to, lend my support, or at least, not that I have an impact on the process, of course, but I'd love to see businesses succeed. Entrepreneurship is very dear to me. I've been an entrepreneur for 24 years. And so, anything that helps, right? It's hard to raise capital as a small business. And so if you're able to do that in a way that makes sense, then I'm all for it, right? So I'll take some questions and then I can end this stream here. What is my reason for buying in the Atlantic IPO? You sure that is for me, Tavares? Where did I mention that I bought into the IPO? Maybe I missed when I said that. I have not submitted an application for Atlantic. It wasn't compelling enough to me at the time. Now, if there's something that I'm waiting to see. So I did the full review in our challenge community. There's something that I'm waiting to see, right? The basis of allotment is the first thing. That will tell me the demand, right? when I saw the Trans Jamaica offer right there, my take is that it's fully underwritten by JMB, so they will raise the funds. But if there's not a lot of retail investors, then that's going to be interesting in terms of how it will trade. And I know some retail investors, once they buy into IPOs, they're expecting certain gains, right? So that'd be interesting to see how it trades. If it is that there's an opportunity to enter at a better price, maybe I'll take that. But I didn't submit an application, and as of now, I have no intentions to. But there are some positives about the company that I saw, but not enough for me to make a decision to submit an application. Okay. And I mean, I think he asked me because, I have a hard time being misleading or not just saying what it is, right? So, and yeah, I mean, and that's okay. That's okay. I think that there are certain scenarios where it would make sense, right? Especially since, for example, you may get a very good allocation, all things considered. So if you applied for a certain amount, you may actually get everything that you're looking for. And yeah, to each his own, for sure. So hardware is not a company that no. So here's the thing, though. There are great synergies for the company. That's what I'll say. Great synergies for the company, and so it's not all it appears to be. But as I said, for me, so there were positives I saw, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't compelling enough to me to place an order, right? Especially since I'm not sure that the price will increase in the short term, right? Maybe if there's enough in terms of supply and demand, but I'm not sure. I can expect the price to go up in the short term, which means to me it may be more compelling to look for an opportunity after listing. So if it lists and it's 80 cents, 90 cents, 75 cents, maybe it may be compelling for me to take a position at that point. But as of now, there wasn't enough, especially since I had other stocks that had my interest, especially in the short term, right? That's what I'll say for now, because I think a lot of persons are sleeping on stocks that are providing great buying opportunities right now. And by the way, I will say that, again, just shout out to, I'm going to share my screen here, to Regency Petroleum. We have their earnings call is coming up this week. And I mean, they had a great year last year. Great. And it's going to be an interesting year for them. And some of the things that I'm seeing, I think, will really position that company well to have a great year. They had a minor setback. I'm waiting to see what they say about it on the earnings call. So it would really be interesting to see what that looks like for them. So yeah. All right. So there's that. Who else? There's a company that I saw. I heard about Spur Tree Spices as well. I heard that halted down. Maybe I was wrong, but this has come a long way, right? In the last year, it's down more than 50%. That is crazy to me, because Spur Tree was a fan favorite, was an investor favorite, right? So to be down more than 50%, that's crazy to me, right? So I may have to do a review here, because I'd love to see what's happening. Not a dividend paying company by any means. And to me, I have my thoughts about this, but we'll see. As high as like a year ago, 292. Because I remember Spurtree being about $3, right? So a lot of companies are going back to their IPO prices. So persons are asking for IPOs. Who knows? They may have multiple opportunities to buy companies at IPO prices right now. So there's one more company I heard about. Which was it? Sean is not here, so I won't talk about Dolphin Cove. That's Sean's favorite company. Was it QWI? QWI to me is going to be interesting because of what's happening to their US portfolio. I wonder if they're holding, right? I wonder. So QWI is going to be interesting to watch for me to see how they will do with their US portfolio. So right now, like the US markets are, let me see how much is, well, I'll check on that later, but that's going to be interesting for me, right? So let me see what you guys are saying. So I think you're talking about Atlantic here, had some positives. I'm going to watch it. Kirk says, I'm going to keep a watchful eye on Atlantic. Want to see how it trades first. The market has the final say when it comes to price. And so that's the thing, right? I think there are multiple opportunities to purchase a stock. So if it's a really good company, I'll have multiple chances to do so. I really feel really good when I drop 2 million on IPO and then 4 months later, that's 4 million. That's what I like. But Shells, can you drop 2 million on an IPO and get 2 million units though? Well, when's the last time that happened? Probably for Trans Jamaica. I will not settle for less. Dalton asking for a loan. Consistent poor performances and no dividend. So you're talking about Spurtree? That's, oh, okay. I think you can get more than $4 for Trans when that dividend declaration comes on Monday. Shells. So if you're purchasing for, no, let me not say anymore, but I hope you know what you're doing there. Spurtree was a lesson for me. What's a lesson? Tell me the lesson that you see. Omar, why are you trying to draw me out, sir? I will not talk about Dolphin Cove today. So possible correlation between the storm and Spurtree price plummetly. That's, whoa, plummet is definitely the word though, because that's crazy to me. 324 to 1. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so all of the gains for the last few years have been wiped out. Listen to me, Shells. I think, so this is what happens when we just talk without fully really understanding what's happening, right? Not saying that's not possible, but that would be extremely unlikely for Trans Jamaica to go back to IPO price. But if it were to go back to IPO price, I would be the happiest person in the world. I would not die from a heart attack. I would be very happy, right? Yeah, exactly. That's not likely to happen, right? So the TGH was exactly, it was stagnant for years, and that's why when it went to 498, my average price was about 270, right? And that's because I've been buying since about $1.20. So I did buy at IPO using margin, sold the shares after the first dividend, and then bought back after it had settled down for a while. And so, yeah, so we'll see. Buying high when it was trending was probably my second stock I bought. It's $4 while the current offer had opened after closure. It's 10. No, I don't agree with that. that assessment, it would definitely look different. It's a greatest hit to everyone, but it would be like, imagine, right? Because what you should understand, Tavares, and this is what I'll show you guys, and this is why I don't think you're seeing the big picture here. If Trans Jamaica goes back to IPO price, I'll just do one simple calculation for you, sir. If it goes back to IPO price and they pay the dividend that they're paying now, which is 18 cents, that's at almost 13% dividend yield. I don't see how it's going to stay at IPO price for long, right? So that's just not possible, right? That would be bought up pretty quickly. They don't have to pay dividends. Dividends aren't mandatory, but they have literally nothing else to do with their cash but pay dividends, sir. They can either pay debt and then pay dividends. So even if they take a break from paying dividends and pay down their debt faster, it's only going to make the next dividend even bigger, sir. All right. All right. So I really have to look into Spur Tree Spices because that's very interesting to see. Very major drop off. So I've tried to reach out to the company for like interviews and stuff like that. I've stopped trying. So I don't know, maybe we'll see them come out at some point and say something, but that's very interesting to see. Do they have an AGM coming up soon? When is their usual AGM? The annual report comes out around May, so their AGM is probably around June, July. So, okay. All right, guys, so this was meant to be a short stream. I hope everybody is doing well. Look out for my next video that I have coming up on Friday. There's a stock that is going to surprise everybody that has now entered my dividend watch list, right? And I'm very excited about it because it was an unlikely candidate. And there's also a company that has not paid dividends yet, and I think we'll have a great opportunity to pay a dividend if they chose to. So I'll talk about that as well on Friday. So I'll see you there. Shells, I've said it that a lot of public companies act private. So that's a mystery to me. But you know, all I do is I just choose not to be a shareholder. It's really as simple as that. And that's why some companies don't get talked about. That's really the truth about it. So we'll see. All right, everyone, I will see you guys again in a couple of days. Hope everybody is well. And please invest wisely and try not to do any... No, I'll leave it there. Take care, guys. See you again soon.
Learning is the key to successful investing. And who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest.